I call this Robertson County Commission on July 15th, 24 in order. Ask if you got a ball cap on, please remove it. Thank you, sir. I tell people if I can't wear one, you can't either. And if you got a cell phone, please mute it, because that deputy right there was sure confiscated. All right, commissioners, you got your roll call buttons punched, will register. Oh, Jesus. Had 18 present and that make 6 absent. I declare we do have a quorum. You happy, Madam Clerk?
That one.
Yeah, I'm present. I'll tell you I'm present. Okay. For invocation night, I'm going to ask Troy Atkins to come up. He's running our highway department now. And how long you been with him, Troy?
2001.
2001. If you will stand, you're going to do our invocation followed by the pledge to the flag.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for this commission. Thank you all those here tonight, Lord. Just thank you for all the work they do. Lord, I ask that we conduct this business in a good manner that would be pleasing to you, Lord. And be with us now, Lord, as we conduct this meeting, and be with us as we go tonight and make everyone get home safe, Lord. For it's in your Son's name, I ask these prayers. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Troy.
I was stuck.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Troy. Okay, commissioners, you get in your package minutes from the previous meeting. Take a motion to approve. Got a motion by Roberts. A second by Couts. Any deletions added to the minutes? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? The minutes are filed. In my communications, I just want to say, Mr. Couts, we got a budget meeting tomorrow.
Absolutely, we do.
We about ready to throw something at the wall, see if it stick.
We are.
We are. We're still working on the budget, gang. This has been an ordeal, and what's happened at the courthouse, which I'll get into that, has really changed the way we have to look at things. And while I'm at the courthouse, during the 11-inch rain in 20 hours, that courthouse, I'm talking about the one on the square, it puddled up and holding water, and all of a sudden it busted loose and went down in the courtrooms. Friday, the courtrooms will be back in service. Insurance did pay for courtrooms, but they're not going to help us pay but $300,000 on the roof. So we did not have another $1 million budgeted for that roof. The roof's 20 years old and it's got 3 roofs on it. And when you got a clock tower on top of that, it's like a chimney. It's expensive, very expensive. So we didn't see it coming, but thank goodness we got money that we have wisely over the years put in a fund balance to help us on projects like that we don't see coming. But the courthouse will be back in service maybe next Friday, but the sheriff is sending everybody outside the building when they start putting the roof on it. And we've been busy working with that. The county court clerk stay where she's at, but everybody else is going to be moved somewhere. So, it's going to be different. Okay, schools. Any weeks here?
Yes, me too.
Where you at? August the 6th? Okay. All the grandparents glad to hear that. Schools will start August the 6th. A lot earlier than you said, isn't it, Danny?
We try to get in the first full week of August, so about normal.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Binkley sent me that his daddy-in-law had a massive stroke. I want to think about him in our prayers. His wife and him is with them right now. And I'm going to announce the thrash show in Adams will be this weekend, and the parade will be at 10 o'clock. If you haven't never been, it's something to see. And it's always the hottest weekend in Robertson County, I can promise you. All right, with that, we'll move to our reports. Let me find the page.
It's public.
Well,
Public.
oh, yeah, I skipped public comments. Reason I skipped it, there was nobody that signed up on the sheet that they wanted to talk about what was on the agenda. All of it was about zoning. If you're not here about the agenda, then I'm gonna call up when we get to zoning. That's when I'll call you up to make your public comments. All right, commissioners, got the reports. First one's from the Highway Committee. Any questions or comments? Trustees report, any questions or comments? Planning, any questions or comments? Animal control, any questions or comments? EMA, any questions or comments? EMS, any questions or comments? Veteran Services, any questions or comments? Solid Waste, any questions or comments? Mr. Romo?
Sir, I noticed there are several items that had unavailable on here for the month reported. And I think that's unusual. Is there any reason why they were not listed?
Yeah, the ladies were in a conference where we didn't have our regular meeting. But I will say the revenue's down a little bit. It is because when the people that haul our trash away, they've got a line in the contract that the diesel fuel, if it goes up to a certain price, then it'd be adjusted. And sure enough, with the price of diesel right now, that's hitting us a little bit. We're still making money. We're coming out good, but that has been affected. Yeah. You know, and it's funny with the holidays and stuff, some days they're slammed in there. You can't even get in. Some days it's different. A lot of it depends on the weather.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Finance. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. I got Commissioner Haley. You want to talk?
Well, we got a meeting Thursday with solid waste, and if she'll update us on that, I won't mind emailing it out there.
Okay.
Or out there.
That'd be good.
Just caught up on that.
Yeah, I think all your department heads go to meetings with the other department heads. In fact, at the end of the month, all the mayors are supposed to be in Murfreesboro for 3 days. And we'll listen to different things about what happened in the county. I was in a meeting today in Williamson County, talking to the other mayors. There's a lot of things that's coming up from the state the next session at the Capitol that's going to affect county government and city governments. So it's going to be interesting to watch. All right. Did we vote on this? All right. I need a motion to accept the reports.
I move all reports to accept in order file.
Okay, I got a second by Stroud. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion does pass. And reports are filed. Next, the chair will recognize Mr. Faith Stonefield of the nomination committee.
Nominating committee has met and we placed these names in nomination for the ethics committee. They are the current members that have been serving. Neil Sutherland, Billy Ray Doris, Jonathan Rummel, Chris Trauber, and Randy Davis. Those are the members that are current on the ethics, and we'd like to hold them over for the next year. And on animal control, Stacy Moore has resigned from her position there, and we are nominating Mr. Doc Martin.
Okay. I got a motion by Stubblefield and a second by Roberts. Is any other nominees coming from the commission?
Question.
Been called. I do a voice vote. Thank you. All in favor of these nominees, say aye.
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? So moved. Thank you, Doc Martin. And the ethics committee, thank all y'all, but I don't think you met in 4 or 5 years. We're a pretty clean bunch.
Yes.
Okay, we're very.
Chairman, I don't want to be a sticker in the mud, but the animal control is not Martin Morgan, it's Brent Martin.
That's what he said, Doc.
You're being a stick in the mud.
I know, I'm sorry, but it's the rules.
Well, I know that's you, Bobby, but let me explain. I walked into the secretary and I said, Commissioner Martin is gonna take over the spot in animal control. Well, she's thought Martin Morgan. Man's got two last names.
It's just on your agenda.
Okay.
It's in the minutes.
We just corrected it.
Just point of order, I stand not corrected, but I stand.
Correct. Way to catch it. Way to catch it.
Stand up, you stand beside.
All right, we'll move into the public hearing plan and zoning. I'm gonna ask Pam and Hunter to come up. At this time, the public is invited to be a part of the county commission to state your opinion and voices. And Madam Clerk has got her time limit up here at 3 minutes per person. So if you will, y'all come up and get in the line. And when you get up here, she's going to announce what we're going to do. And then give me your name and address. Okay, Hunter.
Resolution number 0715240054. Eddie Smith requests to rezone 2.51 acres from RP 80 to C1 located on Highway 31 West, tax map 096, parcel 074.06, second voting district. Planning Commission recommended approval by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, thank you. Sir, would you like to speak on that?
No.
No, it's our plan. That's our plan.
Where you been?
I was off.
Yeah, she's gonna read your name and step up. Was you here last month?
No, I just sent somebody else over there.
I thought you was in a hurry, won't speak. Okay.
Michael Duncan.
Michael Duncan. Michael, if you will state your address for the record.
My name is Michael Duncan. I live at 1500 Hidden Meadow Drive in Quail Ridge subdivision. We've been before you twice on Mr. Smith's zoning request, and we've still got the same problem. Matter of fact, the problem's gotten worse with the water coming off of not only his property, but other properties. But one thing I wanted to address about it is I've been looking at the site plan that was given, and it shows the retention pond is along 31W. If you look at these pictures, I'll pass them by to take a look at them. They that doesn't meet where the land is running to. That runs along Highway 31W, but the problem is over here where the water's going to be shedding off because the property, it drops about 40 feet in less than 100 yards. And I've got a set of pictures here that shows Cantrip Drive normally, and this is 6 months ago, it flooded and school buses couldn't cross. This was in the last rain, and you can see the silt that's coming off where the soil's being eroded. And the rest of us will have other pictures to show. And this just shows where the amount of water, this is off Flag Performance. They put a retention pond in, and this is the amount of water that's being dumped off of that retention pond into that creek, and it's normally dry, rains. I've spent about a little over $16,000 because my property goes right up to the creek on the other side. It took out part of my driveway, having to repair that. And I've been there 30 years and the water just keeps getting worse. And it's adding to it because of all the construction and putting what he's said, storage buildings. You're going to disturb the soil, you're putting rock down, and then so that they're bush hogging the property and more water's coming off just bush hog, which he can do. I mean, that's legal. But it's causing more water to come off of that property because there's nothing to slow it down so the land can absorb it. And if, this goes in effect with all the gravel, rock, packing it down, it's going to be a real watershed. It's going to be even worse. And it's, like I said, I've been in the subdivision 30 years and it's destroying the creek bed. It's undercutting trees. They're falling. And it's just making a real hard endeavor for us to keep our houses and property values up with all the amount of water that's coming off of all the other places. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Eric Skaggs.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Eric Skaggs. I'm at 1516 Hidden Meadow Drive. And I'm here tonight to not only speak about our subdivision, but to support my neighbors. Their properties is the one that hits the worst. They're the ones spending a lot of money. They're the ones that have to deal with all the water in their backyards and the flooding of their properties and this and that. I do get a little bit, but not to the amount that they get. The issue that I have is that the water comes over the road of Cantrell. School buses can't go over the water. Trucks can't go over the water when we have the torrential downpours of the heavy rain because of the creek. Water heaters have come down the creek. Stumps, logs. So, I can stand up here all night. They're going to say the same thing. I'm just here to back them up. It's true. But I will say one other thing, that if you all do consider this, approving it, then I would recommend one thing, is that at the zoning meeting, Mr. Smith stated that he'd build a retention pond at the church to help alleviate this issue. I say, before it's approved, if you all decide to approve, is to have him build this retention pond. He said he'd build it on his dime. Let him build that pond, retention pond, and let's see if that resolves the issue. I don't believe it will, because the water's not coming from the church. It's coming from his property. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Brown.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Brown, and I live at 1508 Hidden Meadow Drive in Cottontown, which is in the Quail Ridge subdivision. Well, here we are for the third time. In October 2021, Mr. Smith requested rezoning of this same 2.5 acres from rural preservation to commercial. That request was denied. In December 2023, a second request for rezoning. That request was denied. I'm asking you to, once again, deny this request for the following reasons. Our backyard overlooks this property, and having storage units or any commercial building this close to our backyard will have a negative effect on our property values. If you are looking for a new home, would you choose one where the view from the backyard is of storage units? I would not. And what about the future? If this is approved, what would prevent Mr. Smith from requesting that the rest of his acreage be zoned commercial? Would everyone on the north side of Hidden Meadow then have storage units in their backyard? The security lights from this property would create a light pollution problem, which will be visible from our back windows. We already have a light pollution and noise problem from the diesel engine repair shop that is on 31W at the back end of at the end of Hidden Meadow in the Quail Ridge subdivision. Even though it's behind our neighbor across the street and 2 houses between us, we still hear the noise and we still see the lights. Storage units are an eyesore to the surrounding area and will have a negative effect on the entire subdivision. After all, does this area even need more storage units? There are already multiple storage unit businesses further north on 31W and south of White House on 31W. There are even more on Highway 76 and on Highway 25 in Robertson County. This section of 31W is very residential. I'm asking you to keep it that way. Please remember that in 2021 and 2023, this request was denied. Please vote no in order to keep this 2.5 acres zoned rural preservation. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, man.
Joe Castelbuno.
Hi, Joseph Castelvano. I live at 1504 Hidden Meadow Drive. I live right next door to Mr. Duncan, who came up first. Our properties butt up right next, or we're neighbors right next to each other, and our property is primarily what neighbors this commercial property. I just want to get on the record. I wasn't here 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry for that. I was on vacation, but it was mentioned to me 2 weeks ago that Mr. Smith said that I was okay and signed whatever document that I was okay with this building. I am not okay with this, for the record. I am completely against turning this into a commercial property. I don't know where you got that information from, but the only document I've signed is a petition to ensure that this does not happen. He did come to my property. He did show me the plans. I did hear him out. I was gracious and wanted to just hear what he had to say. I appreciate him coming out and showing me the blueprints, but it's still, I'm not interested. I echo everything Mr. Duncan and everybody else said. Ever since he bush hogged, my backyard is a lake. It happened right when that started. And there's been erosion from the water that comes down from his property. It's filled with silt. That silt then dumps onto Mr. Duncan's property, and then that silt dumps into that creek. And that creek that's next to it, that empties into Honey Run. And Honey Run is a protected blue line system. And if you're not aware that there are different regulations and rules when it comes to protected blue line systems, and that's what Honey Run is, and that's where that creek goes. And so that's just going to add additional stress. And I have a video. I don't want to take out my phone, but I have a video that I showed last time I was here that showed the amount of water that was coming from his property. Yes, there is a retention pond slated to be put in. However, where our property is further down from the retention pond. The retention pond is not going to collect the water that's coming from his property. It might collect from somewhere else, but that retention pond is not going to collect from the video that I showed last time I was here. There's also a very jarring video on Facebook. I don't know, we can't look at that, but if you're curious, you can see the amount of water that's coming in from another property that's sitting along that creek. It is an impervious piece of land. Now, if you change it to what we're intending to change it to, the water's coming in too hot, too fast, and there's too much of it. Any single property that runs along that creek is going to erode that creek bed, and it's already doing it. And any tall trees run a huge risk of falling and damaging other people's properties. There are multiple homes along that creek. Mr. Duncan's included. For me, it's mostly just about the damage that's happening to my property that I have to constantly fill in among all the other flood issues that we have. And that is my time. Thank you.
Thank you.
David Brown.
Thank you this evening. My name is David Brown. I'm at 1508 Hidden Meadow Drive. The property at 4033 Highway 31 North is owned by Roy E. Smith. He is requesting the rezoning as well. We, the undersigned, oppose a change due to the property being at a higher elevation, which increases the water runoff on all of our properties along the tributary that feeds Honey Run Creek. We already have problems with existing businesses surrounding us causing exclusive water runoff, erosion, flooding, including flooding on Cantrell Drive. As you saw the pictures of the water almost a foot deep on Cantrell, which school buses can't get by. Most recent business built a retention pond to slow the flow of water, but the creek bed has continued to erode and trees along the creek bank have fallen in due to erosion. At times, water over the road on Cantrell has prevented school buses from completing their routes, therefore being unable to access Hidden Meadow Drive. The proposed elevation of the storage building, according to a topographical app, is 815 feet per the attached topographical app. The approximate level of the culvert is 770 feet. This is a drop of approximately 45 feet in less than 100 feet. That's a pretty good drop. As you will see from the maps, we can more than happily share with you that we're in a bowl, and with any additional water runoff would cause untold damage to properties bordering the proposed commercial venue. All of us have had to deal with more water problems since Mr. Smith is bush hog, and hopefully he can do that legally. In doing so, it has increased the speed in which the water comes off the property and ours. In addition, light pollution from the proposed business is a concern to all of us since we already have the issue from the current business operation near us. it is apparent that the most storage facility produces a large amount of light. Therefore, we encourage strongly that the property be prevented from changing from the present rating to commercial to Mr. Smith's request for rezoning. I have over 50 signatures on a petition. If you'd like to have a copy, I can more than happily make one for you, saying that they do not want this to happen. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Mike Lunsford.
I want to delay this. Yeah, Eagles. It doesn't matter. John, can we delay this?
My name is Mike Lunsford. I live at 1528 Hidden Meadow Drive. I've lived there for 35 years. I've seen all this water that they've talked about. I've visited neighbors. I've picked logs out of this creek. The ditch fills up, logs bills over. We're here, a month ago, I think we got a car to pull a log out just to get up the road. I'm truly against anything that does to before any more water coming down through there. It's just a bad thing to happen. That's my third time to hear it. I don't know how many more times you have to, but this is it. Keep going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim Stack.
Good evening. Tim Stack, 436 Tyler Court. I live in the Quail Ridge subdivision with all of my neighbors here. Even though I'm not over by Hidden Meadow, I see all the time what the erosion and the water is doing to their properties. And I am just here in support of them and one of the people on the petition to keep this from happening, because it's not going to get better. It's just going to keep going, and the way it's laid out is not going to help. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tim Thornberg.
Hi, I'm Tim Thornburg, 1520 Hidden Meadow. I've lived in the subdivision about 11 years. I'm passing some pictures around. One is the latest flood we had, and everybody said it was a foot, but I was dumb enough to walk in there and measure it. It is almost 2 feet. There's also a picture of a utility pole that floated down the creek. We're talking about light pollution. We're talking about noise pollution. But the main thing we're talking about is damage to our properties. I'm like Eric, I'm sitting on the other side, but in the 11 years I've been there, I've never seen water run across my driveway like it did the last major flood. The other thing I'm concerned about, as you see all the people here, we're all over 50 for the most part. I'm a heart patient. If an ambulance can't get down to get me, I'm dead. We need to think about not just the school buses, but the individuals that are voting you guys in that maybe have a problem with health. And I would appreciate you denying this request. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Eddie Smith.
Eddie Smith, I'm the property owner. Just a little bit about me really quick is my businesses. I've been in business in White House for over years. I coached ball in the city league for 15 years. My companies have given 7 college scholarships. I did not this last year because I sold my business. I'm trying to reestablish a business in White House. We're the longest running sponsor of both White House high schools, their baseball programs. And I helped start the White House Middle School baseball program and was a volunteer coach for 2 years. So that's a little bit about me. I try to be a good neighbor and participate in the community. I've spent thousands, north of $10,000 to prove. So the reason that we're here for the third time is because I was asked at the last meeting by 2 of the people that spoke today, because it was a little confusing at the last meeting that it was with like 15 acres. So I went through the trouble, had it split off, which took me out of the green belt, which caused my taxes to go up. But 2 of the people that spoke out against it said they would be okay with it if I did that. So that's the reason we're back here again. Okay. And then what I've spent thousands of dollars on, and we went through this with the other meeting, is the water issue is not me. I've hired 2 engineers to prove it. They did. Your county engineer went over it as well. The water does not come off of my property, period. Period. If you look at the topo in Mr. and Mrs. Brown's backyard, there's a 7-foot raise of my property before it goes into their backyard. Water will not run uphill like that. It has been established and has been proven by my engineers and by the county's engineers. The water comes from the church parking lot across the street. They built this church with no retaining pond. It goes downhill. This was the big flood that we had that flooded. This is the water across the street. It goes through the culvert under the street, which the culvert is 13 feet off of my property. 13 feet. This water never touches my property. This is what it does when it comes through the other side and goes into the back of their neighborhood. The reason it does that is the ditch is filled in there. And yes, I did meet with the church and agreed. They were very hesitant. They did not want a pond in there. They don't really understand it. They didn't want their kids to drown in it. Well, they don't understand the retention pond. They were very hesitant. I talked them into it that if Clover Engineering would design the pond, then they would be okay with it. If they would design the pond and it would help, absolutely it would help. They should have had one through Sumner County to begin with.
You're wearing down, Mr. Smith.
I'm sorry?
Time's about up, sir.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Back it's up.
So this is the community. The red spot is mine. You could, but Mr. Joseph has it's just mine, so that's fine. This is commercial property in that area. It has become a commercial district. All the highlighted is commercial property. Today, I drove down through.
Time is up, sir.
Do I not get just a little bit? Because I was having to answer their, just one more minute, please, sir.
No, I can't give you a minute. I wouldn't give them a minute. I'm sorry. That's just,
But there's 22 businesses within a mile and a half.
Mr. Brown, I'm running this meeting, okay? Mr. Smith, will you please sit down?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, sir. If everybody don't play by the rules, then it could lead to something else. Yep, I guess it's my turn, ain't it? Okay, gang, you look at item 10A, RP80 to general commercial, C1. You've heard Eddie Smith, voting district 2. Mr. Stroud, would you like to speak? But I'd like to get a motion first, then I'll let you speak, okay? Okay. I need a motion. I got a motion by Cass. I need a second. Okay, got a second by Roberts. Okay, Mr. Stroud.
Question, Hunter. Property owner mentioned that our county engineer looked at it. I mean, what did Trey have to say? I don't think he's here.
He is not. I know Trey did drive out there. There's a letter from Rick Mayo in the packet, who is our consultant engineer, that also looked at it. From what I understand, but I do not have it in writing from Trey, is that he does agree it is coming from the church. But I don't want to say that 100% without him here but that's how I understood it when it came up in last year. But we had the consultant engineer look at the plans as far as the retention pond.
Okay, Commissioner Martin.
One question, when our zoning folks, the property owners, did they hear what we've heard? And
Yes,
they
sir.
still voted 6-0 or whatever
Yes,
the numbers were. So they've heard all of that information.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Romo?
Yeah, I've got a question. I think it relates to the roads and highway system. Could we, our director of our highway department, a member of the court, to answer some questions?
That's if you want to put that in a motion.
I'll make that in the form of a motion.
I got a motion to make Troy Atkins a member of our highway department, a member Member of the court, do I get a second? Got a second by Commissioner Roberts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You want to oppose that? Okay,
Mr. Atkins, I'm curious about the effect of the water on the roads in that area. Is that anything that we've looked at from the highway department's perspective, or what have you seen?
When we've worked up there, Honey Run Quick Creek, it's washed the road out there at the bridge. Waters ran across that bridge. We retarred and chipped it, and within a week after we done it, it came out another flood and washed it away again. One of them said that they live in a bowl, and that's the truth. I mean, it's water's gonna go downhill. Ain't no choice. And all I'm responsible with is what's on the right of way. That's the only thing I haven't. I can't get off the county right of way to do any work to improve it.
If you could make an improvement or do something to improve it, what would your recommendation be? Is it, for instance, a detention pond, something that would perhaps help?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to help. It couldn't hurt it. But as far as to looking at that church lot, I've never looked. I mean, we've parked at that church lot before with our equipment and stuff, but as far as to sit there and study it, I haven't never studied this problem. Basically, when we're out there, we're looking at roads, getting trees out of the roads. Sometimes the neighbors help and remove the logs that he had mentioned, and we appreciate that when they do. But yeah, as far as to all their water runoff to say where it all comes from, I mean, it's coming from uphill. I mean, that's not to be smart or anything. That's just where it's coming from.
Coming from years. Thank you. That's all the questions I had for you.
okay. Thank you, Troy. All right, let me see here. I've got,
I do have one other question unrelated.
got another one?
If it's possible.
Okay.
The light pollution question that was raised, do we have any requirement for commercial properties to plant trees or do anything like that to help mitigate those types of concerns whenever commercial properties abut residential properties?
I don't have everything in front of me as far as site plans, which also have to be approved, but I do believe there's buffer zones.
Yeah, they'll need to, one, you have requirements that no light can shine off a site. So they'll have to angle the lighting to not reflect off. I believe on that site, it's also a 30-foot buffer, and I said we on that concept plan there. And that would be, we have specific buffer guidelines as far as, how many trees per linear foot and how many bushes to shield some of that. Part of the site plan, we can do a lighting plan or have them do a lighting plan to show, how strong the light will be on the site to show that it won't shine off. But there are a number of requirements.
You say you can have them do that. Is that?
And so they're required not to shine off, but I mean, it doesn't specifically say to do a sighting layout, but that's usually the most optimal way to show that you're not shining light off the site, especially in sensitive areas such as this. And we can have the planning commission, bring that up and require that when we get to the site plan stage.
Very good. Thank you. That's all I had, sir.
Mr. Roberts.
I guess my question about this whole thing is, with Mr. Smith here, if he's going to do this, he's willing to dig a retention pond and to try to possibly make this better. Could that help us out? And if we don't let Mr. Smith do this and nothing's never done, we're still going to have the same problem. So are we going to ever fix this problem, or do we have a chance with it being fixed with Mr. Smith possibly doing a retention pond?
If it's coming from the church, like they said, that's on Sumner County.
Yeah, but I'm just
He
saying.
couldn't, but if Mr. Smith gets approved and does that part of it, then I wouldn't think it would hurt it. It'd have to help.
That's all I got.
Isn't it commercial?
Hey, let me see here. Mr. Hogan?
I'm looking at the letter from Earl R. Mayo, and I don't see anything about a church in their runoff.
He does not state that in there.
Okay.
It was Trey that said that
You said it was Trey. We have no documentation from Trey.
That's
I
correct.
don't think he would misread it, that it's here say. And so I'm only looking at what you gave us to look at tonight. So I don't see anything about the church runoff.
Right.
Mr. Morgan.
Well, with so many residents explaining their situation, showing photographs. It seems like it's obvious there's a major problem with the water. I would like to make a motion that we delay this another month to get these issues resolved so that these problems are not just compounded and we just let it go and then vote for something that we think is okay because legally, apparently it's okay. But there is a major problem here we need to deal with to satisfy everybody, I think. So that's what my motion is, that we delay the decision tonight. We not do it tonight, we wait.
Okay, I got a motion to delay this till next meeting. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Got a second? Okay, any discussion on that?
Mr. Chairman, if it's a motion to defer or table this motion, there's no discussion. If that is what he's trying.
Well, I was reading, I asked that, I still got two other people who love to speak.
Yeah. But
he got in front of them. Okay, I got a motion and a second.
Question
being called. Madam Clerk, if you want to do a voice vote, you want me to go by roll call? I like to have it on record, okay? But give her a second so she can write it down. Mr. Wilson, more we may get back to you. Okay. We got a motion to table resolution 4054. If you're in favor of that motion, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. I got 6 for and 11 against. That motion fails. We'll go back to the original motion. Okay. All right. Now, I had Commissioner Wilson want to speak.
Yes, I would just like to say, I've got some property where I live, and my question is, when this road has been flooded like this, how many inches of rain came? Because I couldn't get to my farm about a month ago because it rained so much, and it was 2 foot over a bridge. I mean, if your land's up on a hill, that water's gonna run. God made that land years ago, unless you changed it already, brought dirt in there and changed the flow of it. So if you live on a hill, your water's gonna run downhill. It's been doing it for years. And another thing is, I don't think my neighbors would like it if I didn't bush hog it. They'd be complaining the opposite ways, all I got to say.
Mr. Moore?
So 31W between Millersville and White House. I mean, it's an array of homes and commercial. I mean, there's commercial all around this property. I mean, so how do we know it actually the rain is terrible. We know how much rain we've had because my road floods. I'm in the county. I have farmland all the way around me, and our road floods every time. So, and I mean, there's commercial property. I just don't see how we can deny a man and his property that's sitting in the middle of commercial property. Looking at Google Earth, there's commercial all around him. I mean, I know how you feel. I got commercial going around me too. Just a little confused.
Mr. Hart?
Man, in this letter, it says both the horizontal location, size, and elevation of the proposed detention pond and other stormwater system components must be designed not to increase the existing flows downstream of the site or alter the location of the existing flows. Who's gonna make sure that happens?
That's part of the site plan that has to come through and be approved from planning commission.
They'll submit all that grading and stormwater calculations and everything, and the engineers will take a look at that. So they'll calculate that based off of a 100-year flood at least. And they'll take a look at what's existing and what the detention is to make sure whatever runs off will be captured in that detention, and it won't. And the point of the detention is actually to slow the release so it won't all rush off. But yeah, engineer will.
Anybody else? If not, I'll call for question.
Question.
Question being called. This resolution. 80 to commercial. 4054. Vote yes if you're for it, if you're against it, vote no. Okay, before I say this, I would like to thank everybody for being civil.
Yes.
In a country we live in today, that's pretty nice. I appreciate it. Even if it didn't give him a minute, I didn't give it to him, but you was right to ask, for me to stop him. So, okay. It takes 13 votes to pass. I got 12 for it and 5 against it. I declare that resolution failed. Thank y'all. Ma'am. Okay, Chair now recognizes Commissioner Bobby Couch of the Budget Committee with our resolution.
Chad. I just shut down.
Madam Clerk, Mr. Mayor,
What about it, Bobby?
fellow commissioners and our guests. I'd like to present to you Resolution 071-524-055. This is a motion, a resolution amending the budget for $1.6 million. That's to fix the roof on the courthouse. We did this last month, and because we didn't allocate any money into the current budget, we had to extend that. And this is a bookkeeping issue. We're going to redo this motion so we can allocate this 1.6 for the roof for the next budget year.
We're into July, so it looks like we're into a new year, really. So we had to do it again. This motion has been through the building and grounds and budget.
Different motion.
I got a motion by Couch and a second by White.
Question.
Question being called. If you pull this motion. Okay, I got Mr. Rumley, you want to speak?
I'm sorry, the 300,000 from insurance, is that to be reflected here, or where is that going to be
Goes back
reflected?
in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
So you got that check yet? Hopefully we will. I mean, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I had another question that this has nothing to do with remodeling the courthouse or moving people. This is a different amendment. This is a different resolution for that. This is simply fixing the roof.
Yeah.
But can I ask you when you think we'll start? Can I ask it that way?
When we will start the roof?
Yes.
As soon as we have
material.
We still have I guess what I'm asking, we still have a date set. They had
Not yet.
Okay. That's how I should ask.
So they have to order material that is in keeping with keeping our building historically accurate.
Right. Okay.
So there's some time.
Yeah. And of course, it'd be permitting weather.
Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully, we won't get into the winter. I don't think putting on a roof in the winter is
That's what I'm hoping y'all would say. That's what I was getting at.
Okay, anybody else want to speak? Did I call for question?
Question.
Okay, question being called. If you're for this motion, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. We can run everybody out. Okay. We got 17-4, 0 against that. That resolution passed. Now, Commissioner Couch.
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules for this resolution and this resolution only.
Okay, I got a motion by Couch second by Robertson to suspend the rules
Question.
on this resolution.
Call for the
Okay.
question.
Question being called. If you're suspending the rules, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no.
Aye. Voice vote.
You want to do a voice vote? Okay, bees are on her. If you're for suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? So moved. Now go back to the original resolution.
All right, this is a original resolution, 0715240555. The money to put the roof back on the courthouse.
Okay, everybody knows what we're doing.
Question.
That question being called. If you're for spending this money, put the roof back on the courthouse. Vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. 17-4 again and 0 against. That resolution passed. Commissioner Cal.
All right, this is resolution 0715240556. This resolution will give $575,000 to relocate people from the courthouse to this building and then move them back is what I was told that should count for. And 1.3 for renovation of the courthouse that we already started and were committed to. It's a total of $1,875,000. And we'll need to do 2 readings on this too. Now, we do think that the insurance, we understand the insurance is going to pay up to $500,000 for relocating. Which doesn't cover all of it, but covers a large portion of it.
Hopefully we can move for that. Serpro's going to move us, and I understand they're going to bring anywhere from 100 to 150 people in to get this thing done real quick. Mr. Roberts.
My understanding too, that with Serpro, that our insurance works directly with them and that they are going to pay them directly. So
we may not use this 575.
Yeah, we just put that in to
allocate it in case we need to.
This is for me.
Well, we had to come up with what, retainer, didn't we? Yeah. I got Commissioner Hogan on speak.
Yes, these are emergency funds that we're working with so that taking money out of fund balance, bending the rules, we're talking emergency money, right?
I would say, I know this commission voted to declare it an emergency, and I know the budget committee did, and I think the building and grounds did, and finance. So I feel like that we have made it clear to anyone who's looking that we consider it an emergency. The roof is.
We just want to be transparent about it.
Sure. Transparent and keep the auditors off our back too.
Yeah.
You know, they're all for it. Okay. Got a question being called. If you pull this resolution, vote yes. Vote no. I got 17-4-0 against. That resolution passes. Commissioner Cass.
All right. I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules for this motion and this motion only.
Okay, I got a motion by Council, second by Roberts to suspend the rules.
I'll call for a question on voice vote.
Second.
No seconds. Anybody, if you're for this resolution, suspend the rules on this resolution only. Vote aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Rules are suspended. Commissioner Cass, you
This
take over.
resolution 0715240056. We've talked about what it is. Unless there's no more questions.
Question being called. You're for this resolution on the second reading. Vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. I got 17-4-0 against. That resolution passes. Commissioner Cow.
Yes, sir. This is resolution 0715240057. This is a resolution to accept the drug fund budget for 2020, for the year ended June 30th, 2025. This is not a part of the sheriff's budget. It's a separate item. We usually pass it budget, but we had it and we thought we were going to get this out of the way this month.
Okay. Everybody understand? I got a motion by Council, second by Dr. Martin. Question being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. 17-4-0 against. That resolution passes. Commissioner Cow.
All right, this is resolution 0715240058. This is a resolution establishing speed limit signs for Robertson County, Tennessee.
What road is it on?
Catholic Church Road.
Catholic Church Road. If anybody in this, these commissioners, if you have a problem with the road, one of your citizens, they need to go to the highway commission and get stuff like this done before you get stuff. Okay, any questions? Question being called. Before this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no.
Good luck to you.
I got 17-4, 0 against. That resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner Couch.
Yes, sir.
The chair now recognizes Commissioner Haley, Chairman of the Education.
I've got two that I'm going to bring for you. Before I do that, I'm going to tell you that we had a education committee meeting Monday night. There was 3 of us present. Went very well, and I meant to bring copies of that. Came out of that meeting, and I did not able to do so. I'm not going to. I have a good excuse, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. But to make it good, I'm going to scan those in and send them out to everybody so that you're abreast of what's going on with the largest expenditure the county has. All right, with all that said, Mayor, Madam Clerk, fellow commissioners, members of the public, I bring to you this evening resolution number 07152-4059. This is surplus property from the school board's building and grounds department. I move for its passage.
Okay, I got a motion by Haley.
Question.
That's you to second the Doc. Okay, now Dr. Martin seconded. Somebody call for question? Question being called. If you for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. 17-4, 0 against. That resolution passes.
Thank you, commissioners. Next one is resolution 07152-4060, and this is surplus property coming from the technology department of the school board. And this is laptops, printers, monitors, iPads, and I move for its passage.
Okay, I got Haley made the motion, got a second by Moore. Question called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. I got one wants to speak. Mr. Morgan?
Ask, where does that property go?
Dr. Weeks? He won't know where it goes.
Gut deals.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to speak for you.
Supposed to be twice on gut deals. If we get nothing after that, it's disposed of.
Do you understand, Mr. Mark? Goes to gut deals where everybody can see it. If it's not bid on, then it's just basically destroyed.
Okay, thank you.
If you're for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. 17-4, 0 against. That resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner Hayden.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor.
Good job.
Thank you, sir. I want to learn when he's done.
Learn what?
Right, what to do.
You've done all right. Hey, Chair now recognizes Commissioner DeLong, Chairman of the Law Enforcement Committee.
This is resolution number 07152-4061. Resolution to declare surplus property for the past sheriff department in the state of Tennessee.
All right, I got a motion by DeLong, a second by Commissioner White. Question called for. If you for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. At 17-4, 0 against. That resolution passes. Is there any old business to bring before the county commission? Any new business?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
There is the legislative body in the state of Tennessee passed resolution 0802 for us to pray for the citizens of our state, our communities, our governing bodies, and entire state and the officials. And Governor Lee signed that into law, and it's for the month of July. I hope as we as a body, we pray at the meetings, everything, but I hope that we will continue to do it.
There's a there's gonna be something at the courthouse, the old courthouse. I think it's July 21st. But I could not put that in concrete because if they're starting on the roof, I don't know where we'd be.
But we've been praying at the courthouse every July, but this is for the entire month of July. Is that not right?
Well, we're doing a recognizing that day. There'll be somebody there and, but we'll just have to see where we're at on the roof. If the crane's out there, then we probably won't be. But Governor Lee did sign that. Yes, he did. Okay, I got, Mr. How do you gonna speak?
Yes, sir. I apologize for not bringing this up during your communication. Something I was going to ask you could do for me. I thought in the trustee report where the Economic Development Board had the expenditure, Ms. Shelley told me it was for the industrial park in White House. Would they mind updating us on where we're at on that
Yes,
process?
they'd be glad to. Be glad to. There's another parcel come open, but TVA, I think, is really interested in that parcel. It could change some figures on what's happening.
That's what I was getting at. If they, she could just do
Yeah.
an email or something through Leanne.
Hey, I'll get her to, next building grounds or budget, whatever. Come up and make us, yeah. Commissioner Rommel?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to echo what Commissioner Hogan said about the prayer and fasting this month, the governor's resolution. I had the date for the event though on July 26th, not the 26th. I just wanted to clarify that. I think there's supposed to be some music there, music or something at 11:30 in the morning and a program at 12 noon. And I just agree with Commissioner Hogan, especially in light of what happened on Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania, that we really make it a priority to devote time for prayer.
Chief, have you been aware of this?
Which part?
The part about them doing something at the courthouse?
No.
I'll try to get some information.
It was my understanding that we're not even looking at the crane being set up until September.
Yeah.
That was the reason for the closing of the courthouse on September 16th.
Okay.
That was when the crane and everything would be set up and no one could come in or out of that courthouse at that time.
Hey, I'll get with them to get with you because we'll probably need a deputy too there to maybe, I don't know what kind of crowd they'll have. All right. You good, Commissioner Rommel?
That's all I had. Just wanted to clarify that.
Did I get into new business?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing else, I'll ask for Bobby Hogan to do notice.
Mr. Mayor, I reviewed and signed the applications for those wishing to become a notary. I recommend that we elect all those that have applied to be a notary for the county of Robertson and the great state of Tennessee.
Okay, got a motion by Hogan, second by Rommel. I don't hear no questions. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose those nominations? So be it. They are now notaries. Now I got one more motion and Bubba Dars is not here. Can't leave.
I will say one thing. As a commission, there's somebody sitting beside me who's had a woman that put up with him for 41 years as of today.
Oh, Eric.
Goodness.
Eric, I think you need to get to the house. You know.
I don't think so.
Favor say aye.
So Tammy Robertson.
Oh, yeah.